This situation absolutely activated me. It truly did, because it is the ultimate perversion of something that I really love. That thing that I love is Vampire Survivors, right? I mean, it's got like over 100,000 reviews in Steam. It is so positive. It's such a good game. It's such a good game, and it is in a long tradition of, you know, standing on the shoulders of giants, and that's all cool. But I saw on the App Store the Dark Mirror, the Black Mirror version of that game. And it showed me just everything gone wrong. It's like a step into the other timeline, the dark timeline, where you see what's up. And all of the psychological tactics used here are the very same ones that whenever you hear the words play to earn, all those Web3 bozos, you're trying to put, you know, ram that into games. As you called it earlier, digital serfdom. That's what it's going to be. So I just need to go, right? This is some gameplay of Survivor.io. And the crazy thing is, especially towards the start, they've just, it's a copy, paste, and rename. It's really bad. I mean, shit's the same, dude. It's the same. You know, it's called Force Field, but it's garlic.
Yeah.
You know?
The drones.
Force Field comes with a health up. You've got the 2 drones, which are the same as the 2 birds, as in you level them both up fully, and then you can get a thing that'll combine them, thus getting you, you know, an extra, offensive slot. It is utterly shameless. But the thing is, me and Matt have braved the fire. We have delved deep into the darkness. We have fought the good fight, because there's 3 games from this developer. I'm sure there's bloody trillions more. But one of them is Archero. The other one's Bunball. And seeing the vile nature of the true design of those 2 games, where gameplay is merely sleight of hand to make you not notice what's really going on, to see that be applied to Vampire Survivors, it just brings it all into sharp focus. So I'm going to talk about money. Here's a screenshot from Punball. Right? Just a million friggin' bing bing wahoos and opportunities for further recurring spending.
Look at all those timers too.
Yeah, so let's hop then into, you see these timers? These are like, here's a special bundle that we've generated for you. I mean, do you want to see a really disgusting thing? Mm-hmm. You definitely need this. Buy 89 pence. That was literally just, I used the revolver that I just got, died, and as soon as I went back into the play screen, it offered me this, which would allow me to, via the merging system, get a blue quality revolver. Just instantly, by the power, directly. But there's so much in here, so let's go through it, Matt. Number 1, we got the Gold Piggy. Woo!
Oh, this is dire.
Gold Piggy is you. So the way that it works is, as you play matches, you fill up the Gold Pig. So it's a bit like the whole thing with a battle pass where, you've unlocked 80 tiers, you just don't get the premium ones till you coughed up. It is just like that. Fill the piggy up and, 13 hours and then the piggy will expire. But you filled it up. You've got to pay some money to break the piggy to get your gems.
And also, if you're playing more today, well, you'd be wasting gems if you don't buy this, because it's full. You can't get any more gems.
And if you've just watched this video, I mean, you better be goddamn quick, because the end of summer rewards bonanza is over in 3 days, as of this screenshot, which was taken yesterday. And this is, again, the same thing. You play the game, you get activity points, you move down the thing, but look, there is a premium tier off to the right, just like with that thing that unlocked for me in Diablo Immortal. What a beautiful, beautiful, wonderful game. Now, of course, like the crack dealer, just giving people samples.
Giving out freebies, yeah.
We do have the server launch challenge to celebrate the launch of this game, wahoo! Which, it's just a perfect little onboarding ramp of 7 days to get you used to gems.
Yeah, to utterly, like, the goal of this is to utterly destroy the dopaminergic circuits in your brain, so the only way you can feel joy is from earning more than what they've given you, which you have to buy.
If you play enough of this game, like, straight up, your dick won't work anymore.
That's like the extreme, hyper extreme version, where you are full video game addiction to the point of your brain starting to fail. But that is technically That is technically, with an asterisk, I'm not a doctor, possible.
That's it. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. My scientific claim is that this game will break your dick. So the next thing then, of course, as if none of this was enough, we then have, the daily discount. Every single day, step right up and you will get a fresh set of deals. Of course you can... And I'll talk about ads in a minute,
Yeah.
but of course, you can click that to do the ad, and then you got an 89 pence, a 4.49, and an 8.99. But of course, like any intelligent investor, you should always. I mean, this is just like for the Americans, your 41k or something.
401k.
401k, yeah. Well, you gotta get the growth fund. Now, of course, everyone, the good news is there are 2 growth funds. We've got the 5.99 growth fund and the 17.99 growth fund, which of course, both of which obviously you do have to buy. These are giving you thousands of gems. I mean, maybe they will even approach 800% value, even though these are only 400% value, and that is why we love Diablo Immortal with its high value optional purchases. And then we move on, of course, because none of this is enough. Monthly cards. So you got your monthly cards. Right? Now, this is like, hey, do you want to have a credit builder credit card? Or do you want to have like a triple black diamond premium mega exclusive, you'll get a free massage every time you walk near an airport credit card?
Get your
You can get the monthly card, which will increase your patrol earnings. Patrol earnings, by the way, are just passive resource generation that happens every 16 hours, incentivizing DAUs. We love them. Of course, it also gets you +1 quick patrols, as well as a daily reward of 150 gems for $4.99. But wait, $8.99, and you can get ad-free rewards, as well as even more boosts. Yeah. Extreme value.
I mean, you don't want the normal monthly card. What are you, some sort of peasant? You want the super monthly card? It's gold, it's shinier, you get all the stuff. You'll be able to get, your numbers will be so high, you'll feel good.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Now, beyond all of this, Matt, there is more, obviously, because, imagine it's a game of Vampire Survivors, you're 13 minutes in, you croak.
Yeah.
Cough up 150 gems. Now, 150 gems, by the way. Now, it could be 80 gems. Well, it could be 150 gems. It just seems to change depending on how much they think they can get you for.
How badly you want it, how close you were to the end, how good your build was.
Bro, the data scientists are so over everything that they do. So, 150 gems. Now, that's actually I don't know, £2. And of course, they insert that right when its perceived value will be highest because you've just lost.
Could you imagine being hungry and going into the shop and be like, hello, can I have, an example, say a burger? Can I have a burger? They're like, how much is that? They're like, how hungry are you?
Yeah, it's...
You're like, I'm not really that hungry. They're like, I'll be 50p.
Yeah, but then you're Ronald's dynamic pricing.
Yeah, and you walk in, you're like, I'm famished, I'm starving, I'm not eating all day. They're like, this burger will be 30 quid then, please. That's what that's like. But obviously, for a video game, that's
Lord Vothry walks in, just gets a free burger.
Yeah, that's so crazy.
Yeah, so there's these 2 monthly subscriptions. There's all of these single one-off battle pass things. If it's anything like any of their other games, there will of course be battle passes with multiple tiers.
And basically, this game is just Vampire Survivors, right?
Yes, this is just Vampire Survivors with a zombie theme.
With all of the zombie theme and the mobile UX of this developer.
Yes.
And that's the thing, where this is Vampire Survivors could do all this.
I mean, you see
but they don't, because that developer has a soul.
You see all these things here? Yeah. These are all reskins from their other 2 games, Punball and Archero.
Just copy pasted.
Right? These are template games coming out of the Emperor's Manufactorum.
Oh, Jesus.
So this just shows us the worst, right? And this is what Diablo Immortal's doing. When all the crypto bros come in, and your man talking about, I'm playing the Elder Scrolls 8 and I get the Obsidian Gemstone and I can move that into Roblox 3 and then combine that with the thing in RuneScape 2.5 and just all of the, that unhinged post that anyone who's even smelt a video game or gone near a video game.
Or the latest one that was going around where someone's like, you could have, say, in this RPG, you could pay Filipino players to be NPCs and walk around and do menial things while so other players can see them doing it. Or sorry.
Digital colonialism.
Could you read that? Could you read that again? Say that out loud again and think, is this the right thing? But that's what all this stuff is set up to do. It's just, oh yeah, here's fucking play to earn. Here's a class system. Oh, you want to pay more money to be in the right class?
Let's create digital feudalism and then ship cheap Android phones to developing countries.
I mean, feudalism, yeah.
Fantastic. Wow.
We live in hell.
What will they create next time? Isn't this wonderful? So here's the deal, right? Standing upon the shoulders of giants is, you know, it's how things happen.
Yeah,
Did you know that FPSs used to be called Doom clones?
Yeah.
Right? Metroidvania. That's not copycats. That is a long and beautiful tradition of iteration that has created some of the most incredible video game experiences for many people.
Yep, absolutely.
Right? So
yeah,
we're all for that. And did you know that Vampire Survivors is a clone?
Yeah, and a really like unashamed, zero shame, completely admits it, goes, yeah, it's just this game.
Yeah.
It's just this game with my own twist.
And he said, all I wanted for this game was to be a little platform shared with a few players that would allow me to have fun making new content over the weekends. Yeah, so actual fucking dear sweet cinnamon roll boy is just like, I've just made a cool little hobby project, and, you know, if maybe 50 or 100 people play it, I can give them some updates, that'll be cool.
Just became the main character of video games for like most of the actual year.
Yeah.
And, you know, absolute credit to him, Vampire Survivors is still getting updated. It's gearing up for 1.0, so if you haven't played it in a while, go check it out, because the sheer creativity on display with some of like the new mechanics they're added and some of the new stages, it actually is like it has a little small, like almost like a single player campaign element to it, with really cool like endings for finishing it and loads of little unique things and a complete end game. It's beautiful. Iterations going into it, and iterations going into it good and creatively for video games.
Like, honestly, because even if I want to make a game like that. To be honest, I do want to hop back into Unity.
Yeah.
You know, it's been a few years since I've just went and done some coding, and when I look at this, you know, 100% in the spirit of this fella, this just seems fun.
Yeah.
And that is what makes good games, right? And Magic Survival probably is taking cues from Robotron. Robotron 2084. You maybe didn't hear of it, but there you go. Yeah. It's your dad's Vampire Survivors.
I mean, it's a fundamentally
fascinating thing, because it's one of the awesome things. Connor, who's still relatively new in our team, just putting in, you know, really just incredible research and surfacing things. So, did you know, like, Defender, the absolute legendary classic game, the same developer that made Defender makes Robotron. The DNA of Robotron is in Magic Survival. That leads to Vampire Survivors, leads to so many other games.
20 Minutes Till Dawn, Holocure.
You can view this incredible family tree. And one of the kids turned out like a total dick at survivors.io. And we're going to talk about the money, because no doubt you're thinking, how much is it making? Oh, don't worry, we got that. So there's other ones too. This one, I mean, I know this could hit Connor where it hurts. I know this is going to hit me where it hurts. Crafty Survivors, because it's a craft industry based version of this kind of game thing. So for somebody like the first YouTube videos that I ever made, and you will never see them, very embarrassing, but they were Minecraft tech tutorials. So no doubt that is absolutely up my alley. But then sometimes things go a little bit more unpleasant. And here's the awesome thing. I came into work like a week ago. The fury of all the elements behind me at finding out about this game. And then Nathan Brown puts out his latest newsletter, completely skewering the whole thing, which was awesome. So you could check out Hit Points by Nathan Brown. It's a great newsletter.
Absolutely wonderful.
And so he's just pointing out the fact that this is imitation with very little creativity. It's one of the many games from a Chinese developer called Habi. And they obviously have giga resources. In fact, according to mobilegamer.biz, Survivor.io has been shooting up the charts across the world. And even the whole .io thing, you know that thing, was it the Snake.io, something? Slither.io.
Yeah.
There's nothing to do with the .io domain in this game, obviously.
No, it's just
But that's just a finely market-tuned game name.
Yeah, because you see here Survivor.io and you go, oh, that must be some cute little indie project that's really fun and multiplayer and there's a lot of cool stuff to it. Because that's what IO was. Indian Ocean domains. That was not relevant, but it was just a cute like little name. And they're just hopping on that because they're smart.
Yeah, you know,
because they're cynically smart.
itch.io.
Yeah,
you know, it's... Well, according to the analytics firm Navic, 400,000 downloads a day.
Jesus Christ.
According to Sensor Tower, 500,000 of the old US dollars per day via in-app purchases, and also assuming that it's going to be generating an additional 500k a day in the ad revenue. To us, that seems pretty successful. Now,
Vampire Survivors was being sold for about $2, and even if that sold 10 million copies, there was a free version of it on itch for the longest time. So even like the person who started, I mean, Magic Survival technically started, but like one of the best examples that started it all, and obviously we can tell Survivor.io was yoinked Vampire Survivors mechanics really hard, making a shadow of the profit they're making because they didn't turn to the dark path.
Here's the deal. First 2 weeks, Diablo Immortal.
Yeah.
The game that set the friggin' internet on fire. 24 million USD estimate. By those estimates...
Over 14 days?
By these estimates, and we can only assume this number will go up.
Yeah.
But this friggin' like disgrace is out there competing with Diablo Immortal. Yeah, so think about Bobby's chumps who spent years and years, millions and millions, all of that stuff to make Diablo Immortal the slobbering behemoth that it is, and bam! Pack of lads here just go bang, bang, wahoo, throw in the magic spice, take the monetization from our other game, blop, put it there. How do we balance this game? Don't worry, we have the evil chart from our other games. Done. Now we're making $1 million a day.
$1 million
right?
a day.
So this is big success. Of course, because this is a poppin' genre, their user acquisition is going to be pretty damn easy. And here's what I love. This had most of us doing a spit take, a proper fucking belly laugh in the office whenever we saw it. This is the webpage of the dev. Happy! A combination of hobby and happy! By playing our games, we hope you obtain new interests and cultivate already existing ones, such as spending money, you consumer. Copycats. Literally the second thing, like... Okay, one sec. I'm just going to go to this, right? So, their website's so funny. It's happy.fun. I've went here to happy.fun. And this is just so that you know I'm not bullshitting.
That's so dystopian.
Let me turn off Noir. All right, so here's their website. And that's a fucking different page on their website. Is it the About page? Okay.
Must be, yeah.
So this is the About page of their website. You go to the About page, and they're like, happy plus hobby. Or, happy plus hobby. And then, like, the second paragraph says, copycats. We're totally against copying or using someone else's ideas in our own work. That's why we renamed garlic to force field.
Yeah.
And we renamed the birds to drone type A and drone type B.
That's not even creative.
We've had our work copied at some point or another, and we understand the pain this brings, especially if you've spent effort and time on an innovative idea. You haven't fucking done that.
Oh, Jesus.
So, yeah, you know, when I'm talking about this being all of the dark arts at play, that's it. So, to give you a little slice of Nathan's newsletter that we would recommend you check out because, you know, puts in great work. This really is a strange lift. Sure, weapons and skills have been redesigned and renamed. Rune Tracer's now called Drill. Some of the evolution pairings have been swapped around. It's been wrapped in a persistent progression system, about 1 billion monetization hooks, all brought pretty much wholesale from Archero. Oh, Nathan, man, you haven't even checked out Punball yet.
Oh no.
You can have hours of fun. It's a game played in portrait mode on a smartphone instead of a desktop window. You watch an ad while you die and revive at half health. But in every other aspect, Vampire Survivors to a T. Should probably consider the fact that it technically predates Vampire Survivors. It launched in select markets 2020, over a year before it hit, but I don't think it counts for much. The games are simply too similar for this to be a magical coincidence, and the notion of Galante having scuriously cloned a soft launch mobile game and rushed it at an ultra low price point is clearly the stuff of fantasy. Brilliant, though it would be. So, you know, we're talking a bit about the copycat. problem, that kind of thing going on. I mean, it'd be kind of interesting to compare the various different versions of this game. Even if this was a case of, the movies like Deep Impact and Armageddon that come out the same year, for me, it's just the contrast, right?
Yep.
It is the contrast between these two games. It's like, this is the same core gameplay, evil version, good version.
It's really brutal how like simple and obvious that is, where there's no like, well, Vampire Survivors has, there's none of that. It is literally just, this one is good. This one is what video games were. This is what God put video games on Earth to be. This is what they're supposed to be. This is what everyone envisioned them when they were created. And then here's what a load of marketing people and a load of money-hungry bean counters did to it.
Yeah.
This is the evil form that they created. This is the corrupted, twisted version of video games that should be absolutely reviled, spat on, shot out everywhere. It should be stomped completely out anywhere it is. But it's just too effective because they are. It's that thing that's like always persistent throughout history. If you do the evil thing, if you take the left-hand path, the dark path, it will cost you your soul, but you'll reap the rewards.
And meanwhile, potentially to make up for the fact that they've all spent all of their money in gacha games, we see the Sphere Power, fans of Japanese media, which is HoloCure.
Yep.
Which is goddamn awesome. And it's a free fan game.
Yeah, because that's the version of like, I guess, Vampire Survivors, right? You've got Standing on the Shoulders of Giants. You immediately see loads of other Vampire Survivors clones, right? And you see some clones, like there's one really cheap one that I played with like 3D models. It was kind of vaguely okay. It was like, sure, it's fine, whatever. It's the Vampire Survivors, but a little bit different aesthetically. But then there were two specific versions, and I laughed like crazy whenever Nathan Brown pointed out the exact same two games that I'd been playing and thinking about. First off, there's HoloCure, right? Which is this HoloLive fan game made by KU. I think they're an animator like professionally, and them and a couple people did this on their spare time. And it's just like literally Vampire Survivors, but the core concept with all the different assets, all the different theming around HoloLive, the virtual YouTuber production company. But every mechanic is like different and more fun. There's more inspirations. It's kind of the idea of, well, what if you take idea A and then blend some idea B and blend some idea C? Oh, you've got a different product. It's like you're mixing paint. You might have mostly red paint, but you throw enough yellow in there, you throw enough blue in there, it's going to be a different color. And that's kind of what happened here, where this game is like, it's a little bit more bullet helly, a little bit more interesting mechanics. It's got the little gacha rolls for the characters. It's got character special abilities, which, like, obviously Vampire Survivors has character, like, passives, but not special abilities. There's different builds that go in, like, you've got your dodge build from, like, Fubigi's like a dodge build. You've got Coronet just added, who's got, like, a kind of take damage every now and again for a buff. You've got speed-based characters who are, like, kind of designed to be kind of standing in the middle, and all of their skills interact with being still or being slow versus ones that are more active and more aiming. There's like a strafe button so you can move while pointing your weapons a specific direction, and almost every weapon is directional based or like there's more skill to it than there would be in Vampire Survivors, because Vampire Survivors is clearly more kind of AFK, and that's a meaningful evolution, especially with the stage mechanics as well. It's a meaningful evolution of, hey, what if this were a little bit more RPG build wise instead of a little bit different? And I was just, okay, you've taken the core idea, you've remixed it, and it is a not necessarily better, but it's a substantially different experience. It's a different one. You've created more video game. You've created more art. This is meaningful to the world of video games, of course. And then there's another version that I absolutely love, which is called 20 Minutes Till Dawn. And it's a little bit less Vampire Survivors inspired because it's a shooter, right? It's a top-down twin stick shooter. But it's clearly you're in the area, you're surviving, you're picking up your XP gems. You've got your random builds that you pick out of from every time you level up. You pick a thing, it goes down like a talent tree, and you put builds together while you try to survive as, you go through different darkness levels of difficulty. And again, it's the same, like, oh, we see you've taken the core stuff out of Vampire Survivors, but then you've made a whole new game on top. You made a whole new experience, and you've added to the experience of video games, where now, I never thought I'd spend 100 hours this year playing Vampire Survivors and its clones. But I have, and they're great. And each individual game is like a wonderful version of, they're good versions. It's like basically the good offspring of the game. And it's a net gain for people. Like you can go play them, you can go have fun. Versus whatever the fuck Survivor.io was.
I'm gonna hit you with some grim shit.
Yeah.
And we're gonna use that as fuel to motivate us to support the good stuff, right? Vampire Survivors, 115,000 Steam reviews.
Yep.
Per some of the common wisdom of, like 63, like 63 sales per review, right? Let's try to run the math. So 1115 times 63. So let's just say that somehow, let's just say I got 5 million sales, right? So 5 million sales at 3 USD. That's like 1.5 million, minus 30% for the cut. So this incredible success has, in a few days, Survivors.io just goes, yeah, we are the evil mobile money goblins, and we're coming for you. And it just shows.
Evil pays.
Yeah, evil pays. Evil pays, and that's why we need to use our discretion to support shit that ain't evil. Because while scale that evil may grow, we can't stop that, really. But what we can do, rather than sort of focus on those things, is we can focus on the stuff that is good. So if you didn't know about Vampire Survivors, perhaps now you could consider picking it up. And then also some of the games that Matt highlighted.
Especially 20 Minutes Till Dawn, if you're into like twin stick shooters, that game owns.
Yeah.
And it's cheap too. We
don't want to come here and just be like, blah, blah,
bad.
Doom, bad, no options. So look, you have some options of awesome games to play today. And let's use looking into the Black Mirror. Let's use that as motivation to support creativity and awesomeness in the games industry. That is it for me and Matt today. If you'd like to support the video game that our company that we are working on, which is coming along really well. Thomas showed me a beautiful scene yesterday, some amazing music. You can check out The Pale Beyond on Steam. The link will be down below. All right. Thanks for dropping by. We'll see you next time.
Don't let evil win, please. Please don't let it win.